Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to the weekly Armchair Sports Talk. Obviously joined by Stu, Hamma, Freddie. Boys, thank you very much for joining me. Not the result we wanted today. We were talking backstage. We'll get into that a little bit more. Get your comments, get your likes in and all that. Get your discussion in, and we will try and go through those as quick and as diligent as we can. Stu, as I said, thanks for joining me, my man. I hope
Pleasure.
you're really, really well. Final game of the season. Obviously, big hopes tonight. Hoping to potentially sort of derail that treble, which unfortunately, that will be talked about. As I said to you backstage, and I said on another show, I don't think United fans care about it as much as everyone makes out. I think it's just a talking point, just to put Man United in the mud, bring City up, and that's it. But on the whole today, I know we weren't at our best. City weren't either, but I thought that defensively, we were very good. Going forward was difficult to do, but I think we got overrun in the midfield a little bit. Listen, it's awful. It's shit. I understand. However, I am not too disheartened by it, if that makes sense. And Stu, I'll come over to you first, mate. How are you feeling?
Surprisingly, I'm okay. I feel all right. The world is settled. My equilibrium is fine. I'm gonna have a few beers in a bit. I've got to
got a gin. Got a gin here.
Oh, good lad. Yes, that's how you do it. No, look, you can pick holes in the performance if you want. You can be disappointed if you want. That's every football fan's prerogative. For me, I'm not too despondent. I thought we gave City a good run for the money. To be fair, they weren't on there. They didn't play their best football. Wan-Bissaka got under Grealish's skin. He didn't like it, which I thought was quite good. He was a bit cynical on a couple of occasions. I just think two of our players maybe didn't come to the party, and as much as Eriksen I thought wasn't great today, which is a shame. I'm just wondering whether Eriksen just completely run out of steam, whether his heart issues just really come to the fore now and he's just run out of steam because it wasn't quite his game today.
No. Bit sort of... I can't remember. I'm trying to think of the term, but he was off the pace essentially.
He was off
sort
the
of
pace
second to everything, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, and we didn't see the dynamism that I thought we would get with Rashford and Sancho. But you know something, everybody hates losing the final. Cheers, Jamie. That's James. Jamie, the money's in the post, pal. Don't you panic. Don't you panic. £1.50 winging its way to you as we speak. Yeah, most people are, nobody wants to lose a final. I've played in a couple of finals, lost a few finals, but you get on with it. And I think the lads tonight, when they go home, I think the most frustrated will be Ten Hag. He didn't look happy at all, did he, on the sidelines? He looked very perturbed. I think he was, look, you're not doing what I've asked you to do. I told you to do this. I told you what would happen if you didn't do that. And the Gundogan goal, 15 seconds, 12 seconds, whatever it was, it is what it is, isn't it? But the second goal, really frustrating. It obviously took a deflection.
Do you think lots of talk about that, and it's sort of very much up in the air? It's very easy for us to kind of talk about perhaps we should have done better. Deflections you can't really help, but David De Gea, I know there's been a lot of talk about him. Don't want to speak negatively, but do you think he should have done better there?
He didn't see it. If you look at the shot behind Gundogan as he didn't see it. There's no two ways. Sorry. Yeah. But the problem was we left Gundogan free.
Yeah.
You don't do that as criminal.
No.
No level of football, and we let him free. And the volley was woeful at best. It almost rolled down his shin. It rolled down his shin. It was a shin. It was a terrible volley. But look, all in all,
misspelling here. He's awful, isn't he, Jamie? He doesn't know how to spell your name. What a knob. Anyway, go on. Sorry, Stu.
Yeah. All in all, I'm all right about it. If I'm honest, I thought it would be a bit tough to take, like Julio says, but I'm okay about it. I got my first. I'm playing for. I didn't tell you, Mark. I've signed for Tipton Town Vets.
Have you? That's only down the road from me.
Yeah, we'll be kicking off in September.
You don't want me to do reactions for that as well. I need a bit of a break, brother.
Yeah, we only play 10 games a season, I think. At our age.
I might be able to do that then. There you go.
But Tipton Town Vet. So no, do you know, we're having a few beers in a minute. I've got to do one more show after this, and a few beers, and then footy tomorrow. What more can you want? Sun, footy, beer.
There you go. The 3 wonderful things in life, obviously. Julio, thanks for joining us in the comments, my man, as always. Little tough to take. We stuck to a plan quite well, and considering we were always going to be the underdog, there would always be an element of smash and grab. Maybe another day we could have got more, and I think that's very, very good points, actually, all of them, really. As I was saying earlier, I think that we did defend well. The 2 goals ultimately came from nothing, and I can imagine Ten Hag, the defence, the whole team will be really disappointed with that, because, you know, on a better day where luck goes for us a little bit more, we might have sort of got out, been able to play out from the back a little bit better, got forward a little bit more, and those goals don't come often, and they got 2 opportunities from nowhere. And I think ultimately, if I'm realistic, and I know a lot of rival fans, City fans, would be different, they will say that they were much better than us, and I do think that's not true. And ultimately, I think that the difference today was Gundogan. And
he was. Yeah, it's his day, wasn't it? It was his day.
Yeah, it was. Someone showed up. You know, if we had someone on our side show up, it could have been very, very different. Hammer, thank you very much for joining me, buddy. I know you're a few hours behind. Really appreciate you being there, buddy. As I said, last show, everyone in the comments, get liking, get subscribing, and get chatting as well. How you feeling, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, just like Stu was saying, I'm not as down on us not getting the win. It was gonna take some type of counter or somebody like you just said, somebody stepping up, probably like a Rashford or something. Well, that's no excuse. Learn how to handle your shit and spell. But anyways, yeah, I'm not too worried about it. And the places that we lack is what kind of showed up today, right? Like, I think what Stu said was true about the second goal. It wasn't a great shot, but then also if you look at the right angle, you'll see that it very much looked like it was supposed to get blocked by Varane, and it literally just like partially went over his leg. So small things like that, and then that first shot, like everybody says, I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. Fucking Gundogan wasn't expecting that 15 seconds into the game. All right, there wasn't anybody on that pitch expecting that to happen. But I'm hoping, like, if you guys are saying that should be by Monday, I'm hoping that we do find something out about the sale, because I just want to get on to the summer. And I think this game has kind of made it become striker, center mid, and unfortunately for De Gea, potentially goalkeeper as the top 3 things to buy in the summer now. Yeah. I'm not panicking. We're making progress. Like, I think everybody with a level head can see, and there just needs more stuff brought in. And I saw somebody say that, there was like a certain number of players someone said we needed, and we really only got 4 quality players in in these last couple transfer windows. So we still need more players to add to the team. We need to finish the starting 11 and add to the bench. So I'm not stressing.
And I think you summed that up beautifully, actually, Hammer. I think that this is what we have to be realistic. We have to be pragmatic sometimes. And we have to really look at the bigger picture. And ultimately, as we've said many, many times, you look at what we've achieved this season, what Ten Hag's done. This is the same squad, essentially, barring a couple of players that we've seen a massive difference in, okay? And that's one window. Not going to change it after one window. You need about 2 or 3, at least, maybe. And he's done a sublime job. And we've got to a final. We won a cup. We've become 3rd. We don't have to play the extra game to get into the Champions League. We're in pot 2. We got to the FA Cup. We're against the best team, one of that the Premier League's ever seen. There's no debate about that. And we only narrowly lost 2-1. Yeah, big season, and props to everybody. Stu, did you want to come in very quickly? Or
I did, and it was very, very, very quickly. I think you can get it done in one transfer window, to be honest.
I think you're right, just in case. I'm just trying to give everyone a bit of realism. You know what I mean?
No, I get that. But I think he can get it done in one transfer window. If he gets the missing pieces now, the right ones, get a really good centre forward, but get a young. What he needs to do is buy 3 experienced players, which will cost X, Y, and Z, and then he wants to get 3 youth prospects.
Yep.
And they need to marry up those 3 experienced players. So you want an experienced striker like Kane and Ferguson as an example. So Ferguson come in and learn your trade from Harry Kane. You want a goalkeeper, an experienced goalkeeper, and then, promote your youth goalkeeper, learn from that, or buy a youth goalkeeper. You say whatever you buy as your experienced players, you need to marry with 3 inexperienced players, but they will grow into the squad. So I think he can do it in one transfer window if he's clever.
Yeah, and listen, as we said already a few occasions, sorry to bore you, the player profile that Ten Hag has gone for so far has been extremely good, and I do believe in that. And a bit like with Mount, a bit like other players, we just have to believe in that, and hopefully they get those over the line. I don't think it will be Ferguson now. I don't even know if it will be Kane really, but I think Rasmus Højlund is very much up there from Atalanta. Looks very, very good prospect. At least.
He's a promising player, isn't he? Yeah,
might be the one that you're talking about.
Can I just say real quick? Sorry to interrupt before Freddie goes. There was something in me the other day that made me want to say, like, we do have some veterans in the team, and I get what Stu says. You can always use some more veterans just to get everybody, and especially with the pairing. But there's something in me that doesn't really give a shit. And if money-wise, we can get some quality players, even if they're younger, I think we have some veterans in the team that can help support some younger players. And at this point, between the veterans I think we have and the winners I think that we have in some of them, like Casemiro and Varane now, and then the coaching of Ten Hag and his squad, I wouldn't mind getting young players and throwing them in the fire and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I know it's risky, but, like, I don't know why. That came to my head the other day.
Yeah, you got to take a risk occasionally, aren't you?
Absolutely. Freddie, thanks for joining me as well, buddy. Sorry it's taken so long.
Here he is.
Here he is, the main man himself.
Here he is, the penalty taker. Great pen today.
Great pen.
Great pen.
Yeah. You text me 30, well, actually a minute into after conceding, and he said to me, this is going to be a long night. I said, still got the full game left, and Freddie knows this. He's more on it than I am. You know what I mean? He's a lot more laid back than I am, I can assure you. But it didn't work out obviously like that in the end, and unfortunately we weren't coming on to a show where it was going to be really, really difficult. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, over to you, my man. Thank you for joining me, and how are you feeling after that?
It's bitterly disappointing, but it's always a roller coaster, isn't it? With being a United fan, going into the game, everyone thinks we're going to get battered, then we concede when we do, and then you just think it's going to be another Liverpool sort of game, especially when Rodri had that header when they hit the side netting shortly after. But I'll be honest with you, I'm immensely proud of everyone. I think we gave them a game. I think it was a very tactical game, and it was a lot of stalemates at certain points. City didn't play that well, in all honesty. I think ultimately the game was, as you put it already, one individual just completely ran away with it, and that's all it takes, unfortunately. Sometimes I think that you've got to look at the season as a whole. I think Ten Hag's had a fantastic season. If you were to ask us at the beginning of the season, would we take top 4 on a trophy, I would have bitten your hand off. I honestly didn't think that was possible given the base that we came from last year. So look, it's a fantastic season. I don't think anyone expected us to be in 2 cup finals and finish 3rd. The manager's overachieved, quite frankly, given that he's only had 1 transfer window, and that is so promising because, as you say, all it takes is 1 transfer window. Look at the distance we've come from last year when we were at rock bottom, at our worst Premier League season, to now. Everyone's jovial. There's consensus in the fan base. The positives today. Now we can focus on the ownership, the off the field, and have a full summer where the squad's full preseason where the squad's together. We know there's gaps in the squad. I think Ten Hag needs to be ruthless. There's obviously players that weren't they inherited, and I think he's going to have to make a big decision on them. But it's part and parcel. with management and part and parcel of football. I mean, Guardiola's had 7 years and he's assembled a squad. In fact, he's probably signed 3 squads with City's capabilities. We've had one window, and actually, given our sort of records, we had about a month and a half because we chased De Jong all summer and it was all crammed in at the end. Luckily, it worked. I doubt we're going to have another as successful window. I'd love to, but it's just going by probability of signings. It's difficult for every signing to be hit. So I think it is going to take 1 or 2 more summer windows to reach the heights and challenge of where we want to be. But we're on the right trajectory. I just really hope now that the club ownership gets sorted in the coming weeks and they back the manager and sign who he wants to sign, because we've got a fantastic manager. I think the squad is a relatable squad. Everyone can, last season, I don't think the fans could sort of, empathise or feel attached to this squad. But these group of players are a good group of players. We've got a good mix. So I just hope they back the manager, and I think next season is going to be another positive season.
Yeah. Talking about the takeover, Avram was asked a few questions by a few journalists as he was leaving Wembley, Rich Fay and a few others, and completely ignored them. Obviously, it's all NDA and everything, so lots of talk at the moment that potentially we could hear something on Monday. Ultimately, I think this is going to drag out for a little bit longer. The sooner we get it done, the better. We need to kind of regroup, get the people in, and obviously, of course, then have a window. I just wanted to come to... Listen, hindsight is a wonderful thing, and I wasn't too upset about the starting lineup at all. I thought it was probably expected. Maybe we would have taken Eriksen out. Obviously, that's now come to light that maybe that would have been a good thing to do. But Garnacho... great cameo appearance, and with obviously, as I say, hindsight, wonderful thing. It probably is about time, and I think certainly next season we're going to see him starting far more. Would you agree with that, Stu? And how impressed with you? I know your feelings on the kind of experiencing. I get that, but I just think he's so explosive. He really drives forward, and we were missing that for multitudes of the game. Just wanted to get your thoughts on him really and his performance, and yeah.
If you're gonna start him, you got to look at January onwards to do that. I don't think he's not quite ready to for me to start yet. And this is the danger. I always talk about in football. Euphoria is the most dangerous emotion you can ever have as a person, because Garnacho comes on, he scores, then you see it all over Twitter, you see it everywhere. He must start in the next game, and you've got to take a bit of a deep breath and relax a little bit and say, we need to bring you in properly. Look, Carl Walker had the worst 30 minutes he's had all season when Garnacho came on. I mean, he just tore him a new one. We didn't do enough against Akanji in the first half. We didn't do enough against Walker in the first half. Rashford just had that. He just had that game where he was waiting for that one chance, and he had it, and he unfortunately didn't take it, did he? But people will look at Garnacho and say, "Yeah, he's 100% ready to start," but not for me. I'll see where he is in January, see what signings we make in the summer, see what type of signings we make in the summer, because what he isn't going to do is across the football. So if we go for an Osimhen or a Kane or whatever, they're going to want service, and we don't provide service.
So I do agree to a point. Bruno Fernandes, barring today, I don't know how many chances he created today, probably not too many, but 115 chances this season, and I think only 30% of those were converted. So I do feel that we create enough. We do need someone else. I agree. We need certainly someone else for him and another sort of progressive ball carrier.
There's 2 problems we got. First and foremost, we're not aggressive in the 6-yard box. If you look at any time the ball comes in,
number 9 though, number 9.
Yeah. We don't attack the ball. We don't. We're never in a situation where when there's a chance for the ball, the goalkeeper and the centre half and the striker to all end up in the back of the net. We never do that. And we should be in that position. We should be able to bundle the ball over. We should be able to attack the football, and we don't do it. So because we don't attack the football, is that the reason why the wide men don't cross the football or don't play the football early? Who knows? I mean, maybe that's something that Ten Hag wants to do. But for me, if you're going to get a number 9, if you're going to get a centre forward, and whether it's a Kane and Osimhen or these new guys, I can't remember the two we're linked with. But any of those, if we're not servicing them, it doesn't matter who you have in the team. It's irrelevant. Look at Haaland.
Your goal scoring is obviously goal scoring. You got to put it in the back of the net. You got to convert, but the goal is only as good as the pass you receive.
It is.
We haven't got that target man.
And the other thing is, Haaland hardly had any service today. And look at what happened. He wasn't anonymous, but he had to create his own chances.
Yeah, he did.
And so we can't have that moving forward. And this is why Garnacho can't start for me just at this point in time. He's not got the discipline just yet to feed a target man. And we need, I know it's Rashford, by the way, he hasn't got the discipline to feed a target man either. Nor has Anthony got the discipline to feed a target man. So
they're all quite self-serving, self-centric players, aren't they?
Ten Hag's challenge will be, if I bring a forward in who is going to demand the ball in the 6-yard box, I've got to provide for it. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what we do. But for me, Garnacho, I'll have a look at him in January, but I wouldn't start him. No.
Okay.
I want to comment on Garnacho too. I do agree with Stu. I don't think he'll be ready to start. One, I think he's just shown he's a great impact sub overall. When he comes on against some tired legs and he just doesn't have any hesitation, he's going to take advantage of that. And then two, even though we're a United team and we just lost to them, and I don't watch enough of them because, I got to find time to watch United. I don't got time to watch too much of other teams as well. But it seems like Foden is still being, unless I'm wrong, if you guys can tell me, Foden doesn't start too much or too consistently.
No.
Right?
Not this season.
So just like with today, he got brought on. And one of the things the commentators that I was listening to said, they were pointing out the difference in depth on the bench between us and City. And you had Foden coming on for De Bruyne. And our biggest impact sub is Garnacho. Right? So that's where the different levels are. But he still brings Foden off the bench is what I'm saying. The kid's got talent.
Really being the only real game changer.
Yeah,
and Stu was right in what he said, but being 18 and inexperienced, disciplined, and he being the only man that we can change the game with says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that's what I want to say too. And you can see, so you're seeing how they're handling Foden. I think that's how we should probably handle Garnacho. He's going to continue to get better, but especially in that position, Rashford starts in that position. We're going to get a number 9, so Rashford's going to be back in that position consistently and all that. So that's going to be taken care of. And then one of the other things I wanted to mention too, and I can't remember the guy's name, but who's the young striker that we're supposedly close to? He wants to play for United. I'm just terrible with names.
The one that
was Masoyan.
Yes. Yeah. I saw, and it was just clips, right? Like I'm not going to say I've been watching the person or whatever, but he had some really good movement and Cavani-esque movement in the box. And if we can get somebody who moves like that in the box to get on some of Bruno's passes, like Marc brought up, with the chances he creates, that's where some difference is going to make. And then also just to be American, Marc said we were converting 30%. That's terrible. All right, this isn't baseball. 30% is what you do in baseball because that's how shitty hitting a baseball is. If you convert at 30%, you're great. And that should not be the case for football.
My take on Garnacho, I actually disagree. I think if you to look, I think in the modern day, it's not just, okay, you're attacking, you're an inverted forward, that's it. If you look at a Salah, for example, this guy's pulling out 30 goals and assists combination each season. I think nowadays you have to be a finisher and an assister. I think he can incorporate that into his game. I think the worry at the moment with him is his defensive part of the side of his game, and that is where the maturity comes. At the moment, you don't see that. He doesn't have
He's not
It's not there. He doesn't track back.
Yeah,
Rashford's obviously going to be first choice on the left, no doubt about that. But I think he is going to start. He's going to start more games. He's going to start cup games. You'll see him in the Champions League. I think he's going to be utilised a bit more off the bench, no doubt about that. But he's going. I can see him starting 20 games next season potentially, given depending on how we progress in the cups.
Well, in terms of
well.
rotation, I can agree with that. Like, yeah, I'll see him get some rotation starts, but I don't think he's going to be, thrown in there over and over to be a starter.
No, I think
he's not going to start over Rashford.
Yeah,
which is that's the position, no doubt about that.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
look, we are very good at integrating young players. Like if you look at Greenwood, the way we actually integrated him into the squad was brilliant. So we can do it, and I think the way he's managed Garnacho at the moment has been superb. So it is a gradual process. I think he's 19 next month. I mean, it's bonkers, isn't it? Seeing someone that young playing as much as he has for the first team for such a big club. So I think he's going to be up there. I mentioned his defensive work as well with these young guys. They need to just mature. You can't just throw them in because certain things like that can go to their head and they can derail them in the long term. So
I think it's a good example.
I haven't matured into my 30s. So how can you expect an 18-year-old footballer to have matured already? Do you know what I mean?
Crikey, mate, I thought you were 42.
Damn.
Jesus.
I don't think he's got a response for that one.
Thanks, I was speaking to him, but I was really wounded.
I'm only
joking.
Just on that note, then, and here's a note of caution for you. How bad has Foden regressed over the last 6 months?
Yeah, well, terrible. I don't know if he certainly hasn't been the impact player that he has been. No, he hasn't been in the starting lineup as he is. Yeah. He's not
Guardiola brought him in well, managed him brilliantly, didn't he, Guardiola? Then he had this 18 months of the world at his feet speak, as which is done in the media and in football. I think he's regressed, and I think he's had problems with this limelight issue. And these players have issues at that young age, and Foden's having this issue at the minute, and we can't afford for Garnacho to have it. He's already started, they already nibbled at him, didn't they? Late for meetings, late for training. Bruno gets hold of him, kicks his ass, gets him kind of on track. I just feel it's better to, and look, he will get games. He will start Carabao Cup, absolutely. He will start FA Cup, absolutely. And Freddie, you're absolutely right about his defensive issues, and that's what I see. But he's got to be a bit more focused for me, focused and clinical at the right times. As good as he was today, he never really showed that clinical side, did he? Apart from his one strike, he got in. If you remember, with about 5 minutes to go, he got him right round the back, brilliantly. He did it himself, got him round the back brilliantly, but he didn't look up once. He didn't look up and decide, and he could have pinged a lovely little ball into the middle. We would score with a header because I think Bruno was free. But he doesn't look, he doesn't see. You've got to see the bigger picture in football. Yeah. And a good striker like a Van Nistelrooy, like a Cavani. Cavani is
kind of work on your peripheries a bit. That comes with
it's massive,
isn't it?
I mean, I talk about it all the time, don't I? People say, it's all about your feet, football. Is it bollocks? It's all about your head, your eyes, your ears, your mouth. That's what football is. That's where great footballers become even better footballers, because they understand, they know what's happening. They can see what's happening before they receive the ball. When they receive the ball, they can deal with it immediately. They know what they're doing. He will get there. He will get there. He went through a really bad stage, I felt, at the beginning of the season, had a brilliant middle of the season, got injured. We missed him when he was injured. It's a shame he got injured, because I think he might have kicked on a lot more than what he has done. But there's people in one of my group chats at the moment saying, Garnacho should have started today and all this. It's euphoric bullshit. It really is. Like I say, euphoria. It's a bad emotion. It's a bad emotion to have. It really is. Mm-hmm. When something works, everybody thinks, right, got to keep doing it, got to keep doing it, got to get. No, you haven't.
It doesn't. You have to be dynamic. Obviously, it changes.
Again,
No, absolutely right.
coming off the bench doesn't translate to starting. You know, I mean, it's 21, 22 degrees today. Kyle Walker was blowing.
Everyone else is, you know, had how many minutes playing, and they're probably less energetic.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And he's going to be, up here with.
Well, he taught Kyle Walker a new one today, didn't he? When he came on, Kyle Walker was literally
just to keep going on that point about the sub part is like whatever last game it was, whenever he started recently, whoever he was playing up against had the pace to keep up with him, and he kept trying to get that over the top ball to try to beat the guy for the run when he started, but he couldn't because the guy was fresh. His legs were fresh, and he was able to keep up. So that's why you see the different performances.
Yeah. Go on, Freddie. You wanted to finish off your point, please, brother. Go
No
on.
doubt. He's got unbelievable potential. So it's just, and I think he's got the right manager to help him fulfill that. So
I do too.
I do too. Next year is going to be very interesting. I think, if we get a striker, it's no doubt the whole team is going to reap the benefits.
Massively.
At the minute, there's just too many holes in the squad. So
Anthony's going to get more. His little left
are going to get exposed.
Exactly. I think you make a really good point there. We did talk about this on another show. I think I can't talk now. That wine tastes like arse.
I just want to say that face is why I don't drink no more. Shit like that.
I went from a gin to a wine. It really took me by surprise. But anyway, no, I think we've spoken about this, but number 9 is really our focal point. Yes, we do have other holes, but a number 9, a bit like a central defensive midfielder. We've spoken about this so many times, right? You bring one of those in, like Casemiro this season. You shut up shop. You get a Golden Glove, because it cements the back four, but it also allows you to get forward. We've created more chances this season, been far more attacking, but we don't then have the end product. But with a number 9 as well, it's exactly the same. You bring in someone with a focal point. You've got the creativity from Bruno and a few other players to then finish those chances. It then builds up the team rapport. It builds up the team mentality, the confidence, you know what I mean? And a few other bits and pieces as well. And someone like Kane, or of that ilk, he's also then coming back, bringing players into the game, that kind of thing. But any number 9 that comes in, a proper number 9, there are always going to be sort of different facets and different sort of attributes. But essentially, you get one of them in, it does improve the team astronomically. I just wanted to come to a comment, not this one actually, I will read that in a minute, Julia, but this one, I just wanted anyone to maybe talk about this. I was going to read this out, that he'd said this. Don't want to bring any negativity to it at all, absolutely fine. But does anyone want to sort of come in on that? So Ten Hag, he was asked about David De Gea, the kicking, his distribution. I think that we saw from the second half, he was very much playing the long ball game. That isn't really Ten Hag's approach, but I feel like they wanted to just get it further forward, have someone get to the second ball kind of thing. Say it like this, he said, we're in the right direction, but there are issues in the game. We have to improve, definitely, if we want to make the next step and win trophies. Anybody want to come in on that?
I mean, all I'd say to keep it for a simple one is that he literally is, like he said in the beginning, say it like it is. He knows there's shit that needs to get fixed. He knows we're not a complete product yet, and we still got to make, more completions to the team overall to get anywhere that Manchester United is supposed to be at.
Yeah, absolutely right. And Julia, sort of rounding this off really, really nicely, actually. Can we just take a moment to praise how well Garnacho's stuff was handled? Yeah, given that a young player looking like our next big thing in the midst of contract talks in his final year. Of course, the injury as well. We forget that. He was out for a few weeks, came back and just carried on where he left off. Good mentality. Just need to harness that a little bit more. I just want to say, Julio, actually, he's been on a few shows towards the end of the season, and what a lovely find he was. Really, really good on shows. Make sure you have a look at the stuff that he talks about. Really, really good stuff. Right, listen, we're gonna round off kind of here. We'll do the player ratings. I know it's very difficult, guys, but just do your best. And then we will finish off the show. Of course, this is the last one today. Loads of you in there. Get like and get subscribing. Thanks for joining us this season. Really, really appreciate it. It's been great stuff. I know I've done these sort of like little speeches in the last 3, but this is the last one. I won't bore you anymore. Right, David De Gea then, and I will come to you, Stu.
Yeah, tricky one really. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna give high scores today. So I'm gonna give De Gea an 8 because it could well be his last game for Man United. He's been a great servant for 11 years, 12 years. We don't know
Won't
what
be his
they-
last game. He'll still be in the summer, but he might be moving to a number 2 type position, maybe.
And so I'm going to give him an 8. I don't think he could have done anything with both goals, to be brutally honest. And he wasn't really tested apart from that, was he? He made
neither keeper was.
No.
I can't
So,
remember.
I think I'm going to give him an 8, and I'm warning him, Mark. Now I'm going to go high for Mason today because I was really quite pleased with the overall game.
That's a different kind of high.
Yeah, so I'm going to go for an 8. Big David gets an 8 for me. I've never done that this season. Ever.
Is that what the 8 is for? What is that?
That's my number.
Just for being on.
Shit.
Just for being on.
Yeah, that's my number. That is. Yeah.
Pete Schmeichel on David Hare afterwards, he had a chat with him after the game, but he said beforehand, personally, I think David De Gea should have saved the second goal. It's a difficult one, isn't it? I do. I do.
I don't think he should.
I think I've watched it a few times, Stu. I think he was he should have been one step to his right. I appreciate the.
He was slightly left. He was slightly left. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was too far left, and he did get. Obviously, he got a hand on it. It was very reminiscent of the West Ham goal recently. He did get a hand on it, weak hand, but I think his positioning was wrong. But
his
again,
positioning was wrong because he was slightly to the left. Yeah.
Yeah, look, he's obviously been made to be the scapegoat after this game. I think everyone can see it.
Yeah,
however,
I didn't mean to.
No.
Talk negative,
for both goals, you've got to get out to the shot first and foremost. So you can debate about the saves, but you've got to get out. And it was like the first one. I think everyone was switched off, given the game had just started. The second one, there's no excuses for that. Everyone was so deep, and it's obviously a City set piece routine, and we've just fallen straight into the trap. And I mean, Gundogan, left foot volley outside of the box, both of them outside the box today, superb. But you've got to get out. So no one charged that down, and I think if you're Ten Hag, that's the first thing you're going to do, rather than then you can mention De Gea afterwards.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I'm still giving him an 8. He still gets an 8.
No, that's fine. Listen, I'm not going to question you, Stu. That's absolutely fine. Right, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Hamma.
Excellent.
I mean, if we're going off how Stu's set the bar here, I mean, it would probably be a 7 or an 8 for him as well, because I believe Stu mentioned earlier as well, he got under Grealish's skin and had him, being a little.
He made his presence known very early, didn't he, with Grealish? And I think he was probably told to do that today. And I think he was obviously the one you'd choose for this kind of game, wasn't he?
Exactly, yeah. So, I think he did, like Mark said, he was probably told to do a job, and that's the job he did. Dallo got the extension, right? So we're just not going right back because I don't think they're selling. I don't think they're going to be selling.
No, I think from what I read.
Right?
Yeah, what I read, obviously there was links with Frimpong, who I absolutely love, actually, by the way. But I think with Aaron Wan-Bissaka and his resurgence and the signing of Dallo, we won't be in for a new ride back in the summer.
So I'll give him an 8. I think he did his job today, and both of them have earned, I think, another season to keep their spots here at the club. So, he was.
I agree, Jarvis. But if it wasn't for Stu going above and beyond with his David De Gea rating, then we wouldn't be in this position. Get your comments in, guys. Well, give us your thoughts on each of them and whether you agree, disagree. We're gonna sort of go through these a little bit quicker now. I'm looking at you three, but over to Freddie. Freddie with Varane, please.
I can only imagine if we won the cup, what his ratings would be. Can I just say first of all, the yellow card on Wan-Bissaka was a disgrace. I just
it was.
Never a
card. I was fuming at that. Fuming. Varane. Look, I think given we're giving 8, I'll give 8 to Varane, and I'll probably give an 8 to the centre back. They kept Haaland out of the game. I think
they did. Absolutely, I totally agree. I thought Lindelof was magnificent today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I feel like they did.
The only thing I'd say on Lindelof is the first header for the goal. You've got to go out wide. You've got to go out wide. But beyond that,
it's 30 seconds in.
Having said that,
everyone's sort of like,
Freddie, to be fair, he wasn't expecting that.
No,
and I wouldn't have
no
been
one was
in that either. Nobody was. So
no.
I know what you're saying. if he heads it wide, but
Start of the game.
What's the chances of Lindelof heading that out 5 times, Gundogan scores 5 times? No chance.
No chance.
No chance.
No
He
chance.
scores once.
And I will say, I feel like they did what you, in my opinion, how I would do Haaland, and they both were aggressive with him. Like, don't let him bully you, play him hard, and
He
stick
got him
to him.
once,
And they
didn't he?
did it.
Well,
Yeah.
twice.
He got the little turn, and so.
Did you hear the commentator? Oh, it was dipping. Was it bollocks?
It was skying. It was.
Anyway,
still missed.
Lindelof
missed.
I'll just say as well. Yeah, the commentary was a disgrace
It was
today.
just
BBC, absolutely.
It was on ESPN too. It was all bad.
They were so pro City. It was unbelievable. And even on 5-5 today, I was on my way back driving, so I didn't get to watch much of the second half, and they were all just as bad.
Lindelof gets an 8 for me.
Yeah,
I thought he was good. I thought he was good. I must admit.
He's had a good end to the season, hasn't he?
He has. He's been very strong, very solid, very solid.
Yeah, he has. All about partnerships. And I think actually Harry Maguire next to Martinez would be fine. I really do. But it's about partnerships. And I think he'll probably be off in the summer. Right, moving on to Shaw then. Hamma.
I'm going to give him a 7 because I'll be honest, I didn't hear his name too much today unless I was just zoned out. He wasn't the Shaw that maybe the height that we're all wanting to see from him now because, he's taken that left back spot. So, yeah, I'll give him a little bit less because he didn't, in my eyes, I didn't hear too much about him doing as much as we, the passes, the runs, the tackling and all that. So, But to be fair, I don't know. Oh, yeah, it was De Bruyne in that corner, right? He kept drifting over into that right-hand corner because Fred was pushing him out of the midfield.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Casemiro, Freddie?
Tricky one.
It is a tricky one. Look, one thing I will say is an observation. I think Fred and Casemiro did a very good man marking job today, and there's probably links into why Haaland was kept quite quiet because they cut the service off at source. De Bruyne didn't really have much to do. I think that's credit to Casemiro and Fred. But I think a 7 is probably suitable. I don't think he was as good as we've seen probably in the League Cup final and recent games. So I'll give him a 7. But he's been brilliant this year. Probably one of my favourite players. So it's a shame he didn't get a header today. Didn't have many headers because usually he's a big game player. He likes a header in the final. But yeah, solid 7.
Yeah. Stu, Fred.
Yeah, so here comes my surprise of the scoring. Fred was my man of the match today, and Fred has beat me to it. You can say what you like about Fred, and he's had an up and down season, but he kept De Bruyne quiet. There was no De Bruyne-Haaland link-up today, and that's been key to City over the past 6 to 8 weeks. He was very unorthodox, didn't get involved. He did his job. And De Bruyne, did you see the frustration on De Bruyne's face? Every time you saw a close-up of him, he wanted to strangle Fred, didn't he? Just leave me alone. I said, Marc, you remember this, about 2 years ago, we were talking about...
I can't remember my name most mornings back, but go on.
2 years, God.
Well, we were talking about a man marking job that Fred did on... Might have been De Bruyne a couple of years ago, actually. And I said there are very, very few occasions where you stop playing football. Football is not your job for that day. Your job is to piss your opponent off. And that's what he did today. And
he did.
He gave the ball away a couple of times.
Yeah,
he didn't have his great game. But if you really understand football, you'll put him as your man of the match because he stopped that connection. That telepathic connection that De Bruyne and Haaland have had for the past 8 weeks, he stopped it. And that's why he gets a 9 for me.
Yeah. No, I think that's very good points. And obviously we can look back to similar games like Ander Herrera against Eden Hazard.
Correct.
Park Ji-sung on Pirlo all those years ago.
Stop playing
and
football.
a few others. Yeah, stop playing
Wasn't
football.
about football.
Your main job today, and you've all seen the quotes from Ferguson, is stick to that player and don't allow them to do what they do best. And you're absolutely right.
Yeah. And can I just make a real quick comment? It's why I do think, and I think I said it a few weeks ago, that out of the Fred is the one I think who has kept his spot, and McTominay is going to be the one who ends up getting shipped off.
I don't know whether you guys agree with me or not, but that's
no, I do. Yeah, I'm glad you said it because I, as I said, second half was a little bit bitty for me, and I was listening to a lot of it, and obviously heard the distribution. He gave a couple of passes away. We're kind of used to that sometimes with Fred, but his tenacity, doing the man marking job, he's very, very good at. And this is why, Stu, on the reaction, on the preview, and in conversations, we said probably Fred over Eriksen. And if I would have changed anything today, I would have started Garnacho today. I agree with your points, and I would have taken Eriksen.
No, I get it.
I think it maybe would have worked better. Good to have you with us, Helly. I hope you're well.
Helly.
Fortunate result, evening, Julio. Moving on to Eriksen. Yeah, so Hamma, over to you.
Eriksen is not going to get a good grade. I'm going to go with a 5. And I feel like it's pretty low. And it's because
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And the reason is I know you guys said he wasn't up to his par as well, but like he seemed even below that. You know, I know he doesn't have legs. I know we can't press that much on. He's not going to make tackles and all that, but he was slow to second balls that were in our area that we could have turned into some type of attack. And then for an unorthodox thing that is from him is he wasn't keeping the ball. He was giving it away sloppily a lot of different times, couldn't keep it in his feet to keep a dribble. So yeah, I'm gonna give him a 5.
See, Fred, when a few of us say the same thing, it's got to start ringing true, isn't it? And Helly here, every time I open the show and see Freddie, I always think Bruno on the panel. Unfortunately, Bruno wouldn't be as good as Freddie when it comes to this kind of thing, but obviously an absolute magician. Right, moving on to Sancho, and I'll come to you, Freddie. Yeah,
another 5. I think, unfortunately, Eriksen and Sancho are the two that struggle the most today. Sancho's long-term future is a big question mark, in my opinion. I don't know what type of player he is. I think he's only playing at the moment because Anthony's injured. He doesn't fit the profile of the type of forward or Manchester United forward. I hope he proves everyone wrong and he has a fantastic season next year. But it just looks at the minute that he's very timid. He's not aggressive enough. He's losing first and second balls. He's brilliant on the ball, no doubt about that. Unfortunately, the majority of the game, you haven't got the ball. The game has changed recently.
It wasn't his game. You are absolutely right. And no matter how much Pep wanted to obviously keep Jadon, I don't think he would have suited City's. Oh, no, well, he would have suited City's.
I think it'd have been gone. I don't think
it'd be gone. And I think that's why he was gone. And I think we're seeing it now. And
there's 4 occasions. There were 4 occasions, wasn't it, when he was in the penalty box. He should have just driven because he would have got a spot kick. Just drive. When you're in that area, just drive at players.
He's not that type of player, though. This is the thing. One thing I will say, just quickly, I think it is make or break for him. We've said this. I think you do always need that other type of player. And I think that when you've got to change the dynamic of the game, he's a very good player to have around. So I hope that you have a season. He has a good season, and we can kind of integrate him and play to his strengths as and when it's needed. But then you don't really want to become a bit part player, do you? So
no, all I was going to say is I don't know what he is though as a player, and that's my problem.
Me neither.
That's my issue.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, if you've got Garnacho, think about next year. You've got Garnacho, Rashford, both similar type of,
Anthony.
From a different profile. Then you got Anthony, possibly Ahmad if he stays. Where does Sancho fit? If one of those get injured, it's not like a like for like. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. But I just don't know. Maybe if we get a striker, his game could just accelerate. I hope that happens. But at the minute, big question mark. And I think it is make or break next season for him.
Yeah. Right. Final one. Last but not least, Rashford, and who's next? I'm really sorry.
It was me. Me.
Stu.
I'm sorry to say, but he gets a 5 for me as well because I couldn't quite work out what he'd done. I think you forgot Bruno though. Have you done Bruno?
Did we say Bruno? I'll give it to Freddie in a minute.
No, I have realised though that Bruno's more Freddie's more tan than Bruno. Bruno needs to get that sorted, doesn't he?
He is.
He needs to get that dealt with immediately, Bruno. Does he?
Get on Marc and advise him on a sunbed. That's what Marc does next weekend.
My life could advise him on a sunbed.
I just used to get in the sun. I'm not usually this light.
He works outside my line. I said, "What are you doing straight after work?" So
Right, I'm off, guys. I'll leave you to it. All right.
I'm gonna get kicked off in a second.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry,
right. Go on then, Freddie. Do Bruno. Do Bruno, please.
I'll give him an 8 just because he scored. I mean, high pressure penalty. Didn't have much to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but an 8. Yeah.
Right. That's it.
Oh,
guys.
I got tickets for fucking United Arsenal and MetLife.
Hey, nice one.
Yes,
well done.
Send us. Make sure you send us lots of images so we can post
do
them
that.
to the Twitter account. Right, guys. I just want to say, as I said, I know that I've done these speeches a few times. It's been a great season on the whole. I did have Freddie would tell you, I did have a terrible record at one point, but as I said, and as I've now proven, not my fault. And there you go. But obviously, a great season, testament to a lot of players. Final trophy, top 4, absolutely brilliant. And obviously, we will start the new season hopefully in higher spirits. We'll see what happens with the changeovers. Obviously, we'll be trying to do as many shows as we can. Jamie will be doing his OT theory, which is always good fun. We did one of those before. Lots of reasons why we haven't done it since. Hopefully, we can get that back involved. And of course, takeover stuff we'll be talking about, transfer stuff we'll be talking about. Try and do it as much as we can. Boys, I just want to say, and to everybody else that's come on the shows as well, thank you very, very much. Your time is always valued and appreciated, and you know how much I love you. But yeah, until then, guys.
Can I just say, Mark? Sorry, just big thank you as well, and big well done. I know it takes a lot every weekend, and even midweek as well to do these after reaction shows. So yeah, well done, and it's been a pleasure on our side as well. So
I would echo that.
To get that in.
Yeah, you're gonna make me cry, guys.
Give a round of applause.
Honestly, I've got fucking
or a golf clap.
Lovely.
That's a golf clap, isn't it?
No, I really appreciate that. Thank you. And fuck the players playing 2 games a week. I'm there doing two reactions a week as well. Yeah, think about me. But no, I appreciate that. Exactly. Thank you very, very much. And on to next season, guys. Enjoy your time. Enjoy the rumours. Try not to get too involved in it, and don't get disheartened with whatever happens. But as I said, we will be around the corner, and we will see you next time.